Hello, my name is Sebendisi. In this video, I will go over the accessibility features on the iPhone for those who are visually impaired. The phone used in this video is the iPhone SE. To start, I will show how to change the default display to the zoomed display. Unlike the other features covered in this video, this option is not in the Accessibility tab. Instead, open the Settings app and scroll down to Display and Brightness. At the bottom, under Display Zoom, you have the option to select Standard View or Zoomed View. Select the zoomed view and tap Set in the upper right corner. Your screen may go black for a few seconds, but then it will come back with larger text and icons. Let us get back to the main settings. Two tabs below Display and Brightness is the Accessibility tab. You will recognize it by the blue icon with a stick figure standing in a circle. This tab is divided into sections that often have their own subsections. The first grouping, which is the one we are covering in this video, is labeled Vision. First is VoiceOver, which allows you to scroll through text and some images on your screen and have them read aloud or described by a computer-generated voice. I made a separate video just covering this feature, which is linked in the description. Below VoiceOver is the Zoom tab. Here you can turn on zoom and adjust to zoom settings. When zoom is turned on, you can zoom your screen in and out by tapping twice with 3 fingers. Dragging 3 fingers across the screen will allow you to move around, and by double tapping 3 fingers and dragging, you can change the zoom level. Tapping 3 times with 3 fingers will bring up a menu with more zoom options. You can zoom in and out, change the amount of zoom using the slider at the bottom, choose a filter for easy viewing, and turn on a controller which makes navigating a zoomed-in screen easier. If you select Choose Region, you have the option to turn on Window Zoom. This way, instead of zooming the full screen, your phone will only zoom in on whatever is inside the box. The box can be moved around by holding down on the small rectangle on the bottom and sliding your finger. By tapping Resize Lens, you can change the shape of the zoomed box. Follow Focus will make it so that if you are typing, the zoomed box will follow the text as it appears. Smart Typing will automatically switch to window zoom when a keyboard appears and move the window so that the keyboard is not zoomed. The Keyboard Shortcuts tab will show you multiple options for zoom shortcuts you can use when a keyboard is attached to your phone. These can be turned on and off individually to your preference. Next is the Zoom controller settings. By turning on the Zoom controller, you can navigate your zoom options and interface more easily. When zoomed out, you can move the icon with the arrows anywhere on your screen by dragging. When zoomed in, you can drag to move around the screen. You can change some of the shortcuts with the Zoom controller by tapping single tap, double tap, and triple tap. The defaults are as follows. By tapping the icon once, you can bring up the zoom menu, but tapping twice, you can zoom in and out, and by tapping 3 times, nothing will happen. You have the option to add Speak on Touch, which will allow you to tap a selection of text and have it read aloud. With Adjust Zoom Level turned on, you can double tap and slide on the controller to change the zoom amount. Lastly, there are the color and idle opacity options, which allow you to change the controller to make it more visible. Zoom Region and Zoom Filter were covered earlier, and can also be toggled in the Zoom menu. The final zoom option is Maximum Zoom Level, which allows you to choose how far zoomed in you want your screen to be at maximum zoom. Next is Display and Text Size. Here you can make text bold or adjust the size to make it larger. You can also toggle button shapes, which will create shapes around certain buttons, and on-off labels, which will indicate with an O or a 1 whether a setting is turned off or on. Reduced transparency will affect apps which use transparent or blurred backgrounds, which make reading text difficult. Increased contrast will make a stronger difference between foreground and background elements on the phone. Differentiate without color will replace any items that rely solely on colors with accessible alternatives. Smart Invert will reverse display colors but not images, media, and apps with dark themes turned on. Alternatively, you can turn on Classic Invert, which will reverse all colors on the phone. Color filters will allow you to choose a filter which will help with color blindness. Reduce white point will make all bright colors more dull. Auto brightness will adjust the level of brightness according to your environment. After display and text size is motion. Reduce motion will cut back the movement effects on your screen. By turning this on, you will have the option to prefer crossfade transitions, meaning that instead of sliding, features on your phone will fade into each other. Autoplay message effects will be turned on by default, but you can turn it off if you don't want full screen effects such as confetti to play out in the Messages app. Autoplay video previews allows you to toggle whether you want videos to start playing without tapping on them. Spoken content will allow you to select certain elements on the screen to be read aloud. For a more comprehensive feature, see the video on VoiceOver in the description. Speak selection will allow you to highlight text and have it read aloud as seen here.
Capital F, H, G, B, F.
You can turn on highlight content so that as the words are being spoken, they will be highlighted one by one. There are a few customization options, like whether you just want words to be highlighted, just sentences, or words and sentences. You can also choose the highlight style and colors. Speak screen will record the whole screen aloud to you by swiping 2 fingers down from the top of the screen.
Accessibility tools. Increase tag.
If you turn on Speech Controller, you will have a control button similar to the Zoom controller. This button can be dragged around the screen, and by tapping, you can control whether you want to touch, rewind, play, fast forward, or change the reading speed. The group at the bottom of the Speech Controller tab allows you to change the functionality of the long press and double tap on the controller button, as well as how transparent you want the button to be. Typing feedback gives you the option to have characters, character hints, words, and autocorrection text be spoken to you automatically. With characters, you can adjust the space between you typing and the characters being spoken. You can also toggle hold to speak predictions, which allows you to tap and hold typing predictions to have them read. Going back to the spoken content tab, you can change the voice that is speaking the content under the voices tab. Select your language, and then you will see all of the voice options, some of which need to be downloaded. You can change the speaking rate by sliding the circle left to make it slower and right to make it faster. Lastly, there is pronunciations, which is blank when you select it. By tapping the plus sign in the top of the screen, you can add certain pronunciations of any words to be spoken, such as a first name. You will enter in the word or phrase you wish to correct and then type out the phonetic spelling of the word. You can test this by tapping play in the right-hand corner. The final feature of the Vision section in Accessibility is audio descriptions, which, when turned on, will automatically dictate a description of something when available. This has been a basic overview of the Vision settings on the iPhone SE. If you have more specific questions, let me know in the comments. I can also be reached on weekday mornings at 203-729-3299 extension 1016 or by email at zbandisi@indnw.org.